My major problem with it was they just gave Saudi Arabia championship. Like I get why they did it to make them happy, but it's like you just have this crown jewel championship. I think it's dumb as hell. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Burning Hammer podcast. I'm Mark Izzo, joined by Dillon O'Brien as always, and we are your hosts. Now, on this episode, we'll kind of be going over everything that happened at Bad Blood, along with some other things like what to expect at Crown Jewel. But before we get into that, if you don't want to wait for these episodes to come out, and if you hate ads just like I do, then you got to sign up for our Patreon. $1 a month and you can join the World Champion tier. You get ad-free content, early content, plus some exclusive content. So make sure to sign up for our Patreon. Again, $1 a month. That's nothing. But even if you don't want to pay the $1, you can still sign up for a free membership, and we still publish some stuff for the free membership people out there. And make sure to shop our merch, tpublic.com. We just dropped the Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, I guess it would be presidential tee, but we actually have those. Dill's got it right here. If you're listening, head over to our YouTube and you can see them, or you can head over to our social media. Boom. Wow. Look at that. Beautiful t-shirt right there. Just in time for the this next election coming up.
So make sure that you buy this just in time so you can get out there and make your vote and make sure nobody knows who you're voting for, other than the fact that you have an original Tribal Chief shirt on. Reigns Heyman 24, just in time to let people know who the real Tribal Chief of this entire country is.
That's right. And you can follow us on our social media on X. We are at The Burnt Hammer. Everything else, we are at The Burning Hammer. And if we do live streams with some events coming up that we're kind of in talks to potentially do some more live streaming at certain events and whatnot, we do those on YouTube and Twitch. So YouTube, it's at The Burning Hammer, and on Twitch, it is at The Burning Hammer Podcast. So make sure to follow and subscribe on those as well. So Dillon, let's jump into Bad Blood.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Because there was a lot of bad blood here.
Yeah, there was.
Hell in a Cell kicked off. I mean, what a match. Am I right?
Yeah, man. Match of the year, probably. Geez. What a match. Like, I think I texted you this when I was watching it. I was a little bit behind because I was watching the Phillies game, sadly, that night. And we took a loss, but hey, we're right back in it after a Game 2 win. Go Phils, Game 3 tonight. But anyway, so I was a little bit behind. So I was like texting Mark as I was watching it. But the one thing I said to you was, I don't know if I've ever watched a match that was like so brutal, but also told a story so well at the same time. It was like simultaneously, it was like as brutal as a death match almost at times, and in just like the violence of the way these dudes are bashing the wrench into each other's skull, and Drew legitimately having to get 19 staples put into his head, and yeah, but at the same time, they just did such a good job at telling the story from front to back. This was a really good way to do it and not have either man go down like looking like, it's not like Drew like got squashed or is buried now or anything by that loss to Punk. That was a brutal match. and I'm excited to see what Drew does next. But yeah, that was probably my match of the year so far. Just because, like I said, I don't know. At least in so long, I don't know if I've ever seen a match so violent that also told the story so well. Like,
Does that include WrestleMania?
what do you mean? Which one?
Match of the year, night 2 main event.
Dude, it's like it's close. Like
Okay.
they're very different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to compare. It's hard to judge something. It's almost like that WrestleMania main event has an unfair advantage. Like, I almost
Yeah.
even want to put it like in its own like.
No, that's fair.
I almost like don't want to count it. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that was like not even just because of the match, because it's like they go on and put on a 20-minute banger to start it off like at WrestleMania. So can't
Just
forget
wanted
that.
to clear it up in case people come at you. Just to kind of clarify that as well. I'm in the same boat with you, where it's like everything
dude,
that
it might
happened
be
at
like- it was
WrestleMania
so-
is
it
kind
was
of in
so-
its own boat.
Yeah, but it was like so like I said, like they're very different, and in its own way, it might have been better. You know what I mean? But as far as just like, I mean that's feud of the year, man. Like Punk and Drew, that's the feud of the year for sure. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be hard to. I mean, but those are probably the top two, right?
I mean, those are easily 2 nominees
Yeah.
for Slammy for match of the year that WWE does. I'll tell you what. I mean, CM Punk almost just like murdered Drew early on with that. I think it was like half of the table but like the metal part he tried to like choke him with. But I don't know if like you caught it or anyone else. But there was just like a part of the metal table was sticking out. So like when you have the table, it kind of makes a U. But then there was like a metal piece sticking out, and he jammed it at Drew to try to like choke him with the metal U. But there was just like this metal part. Literally, he almost just stabbed him in the face with that.
Yeah.
It was insane. But I mean, dude, like this match was everything that it was supposed to be. I think wall to wall, bell to bell, it was super, super good. It had to be bloody. It had to be brutal. But like you said, it told a great story throughout. And this was one assumed CM Punk was going to win. But I think that like looking back on it, like this was a good way to end the feud because neither man really gets hurt from a loss here, right? I mean, it's like you said, like Drew may have lost this match and lost the feud, but like it doesn't hurt him or his momentum really when you have a match that's like this brutal and this bloody. I think that he can easily just like still establish himself as a main event caliber wrestler, and I'm really interested to see like what he's going to do next and what they have lined up for him.
Yeah.
I mean, Gunther's an easy person to have him feud with, but I think CM Punk is going towards Gunther to kind of give him something to do before we get to Punk and Seth at WrestleMania.
Well, we'll see, because we got to go into what happened on Raw last night. I don't know if you watched Raw, if you saw Punk's little promo, but
I saw the little stare down with him and Seth.
Well, Punk said that Punk. It seems as if Punk has taken some time off.
Okay.
So definitely doesn't seem like he's gonna be going after Gunther right away. To me, it seems like Punk's taking some time off until Seth is done with the Bronson Reed feud, and then I think Punk is gonna come back and they're gonna start building for Punk and Seth at Mania.
How long do you think Punk's gonna?
Maybe, I would say like 3 months max. Absolute max. Or wait,
That would
what?
suck.
No. 3 months would bring us to Rumble, so it's not going to bring us to Rumble. I think. When's Survivor Series?
November 30th. I kind of think after Crown Jewel. Like, I think they're waiting until after Crown Jewel to kind of start to build more stuff.
Or I could see him coming back at Survivor Series. If they do Seth and Bronson Reed at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
But like, I'll tell you, like, essentially he just came out and he was like, I've never been more beat up than I am after that match last night. Like, I'd like to say I'll see you soon, but I'm just not sure, like, when I'll see you guys. So
yeah,
he was like, thank you guys. I'll see you. So
part of me feels like they may do Gunther and Punk at Saturday night main event in December.
Maybe. I'm not convinced they're going there. I kind of think they were swerving us.
Okay.
I'm not convinced they're going to Punk Gunther.
Okay.
Just
That's
yet,
fair.
at least.
I think because I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like how, like, when are we starting this Seth and Punk feud? And how long is it going to be? Because it's going to end at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I could see them starting it now, but I think we're building a trilogy.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to wrestle twice before Mania. I think that match is too big. I think they might wrestle again after Mania, but I think that first
You think first match is at Mania?
Yeah.
All right, so then I feel like they start the build in January or even later. Like a real build. So then, like, I need, like, CM Punk's, I feel like CM Punk's going to have to do something until that. And he said he was going after Gunther and the World Heavyweight Championship like a few weeks or maybe a month or two ago at this point. But I think, like, that would be good for Gunther to give him a big win against CM Punk. And then I think that gives CM Punk something to do also that's meaningful besides just have him be absent for 3 months. Like, I don't think they want CM Punk off their show for that long.
I don't know, man. I'm just, like, not confused. Like, not after watching Raw last night. Like, I don't mean to be like, but I think if you watched Raw, you would be a little bit more like, because it really seemed like after that Punk promo, that Seth face-off, it seems like Punk's not coming back until it's
go time for Seth.
Until it's go time for Seth.
Okay. Well, that would suck.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think that we're necessarily going to have to wait till January. Like, I think, like, November. I think, like, 6 weeks. It's not that bad. Like, he just went through, like, one of the craziest matches ever.
I mean, more so of, like I'm with you. I think it's probably sometime in November that he's gonna come back. I'm just saying more towards of, like, are we going to build this Punk and Seth feud for 5 months without them having one match? Like, that's kind of the other thing is, like, if they start in November, then you're looking at, like, 4 or 5 months of a feud that they're just going to be cutting promos for 4 or 5 months.
Maybe it's a trilogy that ends at Mania. Maybe they do the first match at Rumble.
I mean, we'll see.
Maybe it main events Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Is Royal Rumble in Indianapolis? They announced that, right?
I think it is this year, yes.
Okay. Also,
Yes.
I don't think we talked about it on the pod, but they did announce SummerSlam is 2 nights.
Yes, yeah. The next SummerSlam, yeah.
So we can touch on that real quick, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, let's see.
We'll get into it though later.
Yeah,
the Punk Seth stuff, because I'll say this: watching Raw, like, Seth called out Bronson Reed. Seth is going after Bronson, so we're about to get a Seth and Bronson Reed feud.
I'm with you.
Like 100%. He just came out and he said, "I'm coming back." He said, "I'm coming back for one person, Bronson Reed." He was like, Bronson Reed tried to take me out, whatever. So, who knows when we're gonna get it? Maybe Crown Jewel. So,
yeah. So they actually, let's get into the historic announcement that they made at Bad Blood regarding Crown Jewel. I mean, in case you didn't hear about it, basically the big announcement was they are going to hold an annual, I guess it's an annual event or matches where it's going to be the two world champions, the WWE and the world champion for both the men and the woman. They are going to face each other, and then the winner will get a Crown Jewel championship belt that's going to be held at Crown Jewel yearly. Why don't you sort of talk me through how you felt about it? Because I know I felt pretty strongly about this idea.
Yeah, I wasn't quite as like strongly against it as you were, just because in the instance of, not saying that I like it, but I'm just saying in the instance to play devil's advocate, this is something that people have maybe people mean more specifically the classic Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series type stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I have seen people mention this. Like, I have seen people constantly, honestly, mention that they miss the classic Survivor Series type of format where the champions from each brand go against each other, where you have the US and the IC and the world and the heavyweight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think essentially it's like they're giving us that in a way. It's just not. It's in a new format. So I think you got to think about it in a sense. Like, this is something they have done before and was classic and that worked and like was fine and like people. So I have faith that they'll like work it well. Essentially, like I'm saying, to play devil's advocate every year, I think Crown Jewel is an event that is not going away. I think it's,
unfortunately,
yeah, I think it's something that honestly consistently puts a wrench in their plans. Because,
every time.
Yeah, because
every fucking time.
Because Saudi Arabia wants to see specific matches, and they want
specific
to see
wrestlers.
Yeah, and they want to see specific things, and a lot of times those things don't line up with the stories that WWE, specifically Triple H, over these last few years has been trying to tell. So I think in this instance, it gives Saudi Arabia this yearly special event that happens once a year. They get this beautiful title, champion versus champion. Like, they know that they're getting. I mean, and let's be honest, it's a crazy match. You know, Gunther versus Cody. We're getting Gunther versus Cody. This match is gonna be crazy. Like,
yeah.
So I think it's a good way to just like kind of, when you put it in as like, okay, it's this new yearly event, then it's something that you're able to kind of just like, you don't really have to worry. You're able to put the stories on pause kind of, because it's this yearly event sort of thing, that it's just like, if you don't set it up as this yearly event sort of thing, it's just like, why are we doing this? Essentially. So at least they kind of, not saying it's a good reason, but at least it's this yearly event sort of thing where it's like they kind of have a reason for doing it. And like I said, I think the main reason is because it's a way to give Saudi Arabia like a very big event once a year. They know, like, and it's an event that nobody else is getting, the two champions facing off, but it's also a way for them to kind of avoid having to mess up their stories and things like that. So that's my side of the devil's advocate. Also, we'll say, also devil's advocate, I know the belt is enormous. I know the belt is enormous.
It's fucking huge.
I think it's pretty dope. I think it's pretty dope. It's really, really big. I think it's pretty cool, though. Too big, but I think it's pretty cool. I
would like to see pictures of it, like proper pictures, because I wasn't in love with it when I saw it on TV. I get what Triple H when it was just like the appeal of it, just having like a million diamonds and all these rubies and shit in there to make it look cool. But I think my initial impression was,
and it's probably all real stuff. Like that thing's probably worth like $20,000, probably.
Oh,
you know what
probably.
I mean? It's probably like Saudi Arabia providing a new one every year. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, so like that's what I understand is like you have to look at it as more of a trophy rather than like, you know what I mean? That's really what it is. It's a trophy.
I'll tell you what. So I 100% I understand the reasoning and the idea of them moving to this format, right? Like the format was not the major issue that I kind of had with it because, I mean, like you said, they don't necessarily have to pause what the champions are doing in their feuds now for this one crown jewel every single year, because you can continue the feuds that they're doing, but you also know, like, hey, you're going to have to face this other person coming up soon, so they can run two same storylines.
Essentially, it's just like the problem used to be, and then I'm going to stop and let you talk because I really want to hear what you have to say. But I feel like the problem used to be is like this Saudi Arabia would be like, okay, we want this match. Like, we're going to give however much for this match. And now Triple H is like, shit, now I have to build to this match. Like, and I have to, and there's constantly like terribly built matches on this card. So this
Cody
is a
Rhodes
way,
versus Logan.
Yeah, so exactly. Roman versus Logan. Like, so this is a way to avoid that. You know what I mean? This is a way to avoid having to, because it's just like essentially the build is all year. The build is like, who's going to be the champions by the time we get there? You know what I mean? And then it's there, and then it's like the two champions face off every year. So that's the one thing I'll say where it's like good. But yeah, go on to what you were saying.
So I think that's a good idea, right? To have this reasoning to do a specific match that you don't need to pause whatever feud you are doing, right? We saw it with Cody versus Logan. We got robbed of an epic AJ and Cody feud because Saudi Arabia wanted Logan Paul to face off against Cody. We built to that for 3 weeks, and then they literally pivoted back to AJ, right? So it's like now they can, at least for one of their shows a year, they can at least avoid that, and you can run two same storylines, right? You don't have to stop your one storyline because you have to give Saudi Arabia the one wrestler they want for this feud for a one-off match that's going to happen. Now you can continue what you were doing, but then you can also build another storyline that, honestly, they'll probably only build it for like 2 or 3 weeks at the same time. You know what I mean? So, and then you can also get good interactions across the two different shows for Raw and SmackDown, right? Obviously, Cody was on Monday Night Raw last night. So the idea of them doing that and kind of fixing that, it's I think that's a good idea. I understand it. That wasn't my major gripe with it. My major problem with it was they just gave Saudi Arabia a championship. Like I get why they did it to make them happy, but it's like you just have this crown jewel championship. I think it's dumb as hell. I think that it should have, like, I think them doing it as a trophy would have been way better. Just have a trophy. You get your name engraved on it. They can have like the Heritage Cup. You can get your all of the winners on there and stuff. Like, I think that would have been a better idea. But now we run into the problem of you have your two champions facing off against each other, right? Mm-hmm. And then, how many times do you think we're going to get a clean finish?
Hardly ever. Yeah.
And that is my biggest pet peeve with because especially with the heels, they hate giving wrestlers clean losses, and especially you're having your two top guys and your two top women facing each other. There's never going to be a clean finish, right? So it's going to kind of suck to where we get robbed because it's going to be Cody versus Gunther. They're going to put on a classic, and then The Rock's going to come out and cost Cody the match, and then Gunther's going to hold the title for 2 weeks, and then it's going to be gone. So it's just like...
Can I say this? I think they might not even hold it past Crown Jewel. I swear to God, I think there's a good chance they just hold it up and it's never seen again. And then it goes home with whoever won it as a trophy. And then there's a new one each year that whoever wins it gets to take it home and keep it
I
in their
think they
house on
hold
their
it for
trophy
like a
shelf.
week.
Dude, I don't think they hold it at all.
Okay, that's fair. I only say they hold it for a week because if you remember...
you're probably... I think it's more likely you're right, but I just think it would be like... How funny would it be if they don't hold it at all? I think
if Gunther wins it, which I think he is, early prediction, he's not holding it. Like,
dude, that's what I'm saying. If Gunther, like that's what if Cody wins, I can definitely see him holding it.
He'll hold it like the classic pose that everyone hates.
Maybe he'll wear the one and then he'll hold that for a week and then, but yeah, I don't think Gunther literally. I think Gunther might leave it there. Ultimate heel move is Gunther puts it up and drops it and he dips. That would be awesome.
So so because if you remember back to the Greatest Royal Rumble, I think it was their first show they held in Saudi Arabia. Braun Strowman won it, and he had that championship. He like walked around with it for like a week or two, and then it just like disappeared. So, that's like also my other thing.
It definitely probably should have been, I think, a Heritage Cup sort of thing would have been better.
That'd be way better, dude.
But then it's also like, nah, let me chill. I was gonna say, but then it's also like that's kind of what they did for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. But it's also like, I mean, having your two champions face off is much more significant than and then a random Battle Royal. So I was like, I'm not gonna say
that means nothing.
No, I know, but essentially, I was saying they've done that before and it sucked. And it didn't go well.
It's terrible. I mean, it's terrible.
But that wasn't because of the trophy. That was because
I mean, the trophy is terrible.
The trophy was terrible, but that wasn't because of the concept of a trophy. That was because of the whole... It wasn't because of trophies in general. The hate for Andre the Giant Memorial... It's crazy. It's true. That how the Andre Battle Royal has, like, curved my... has affected my thoughts on trophies in wrestling. Like, to now it's like
true.
I can never view a trophy the same because of that, and it's like because of how unserious they've taken that. And now it's like it just feels like if I see a trophy, I'm just like, oh, at least on the main roster in WWE. That's what I think. So
and
I will say
it's not even at, isn't it not even at WrestleMania now? They do it on like the SmackDown before.
They do it on SmackDown before.
Brutal blow.
Dude, like, I don't...
Brutal.
Maybe they should just save it. Maybe they should just try to save it.
They can. They just have to make the trophy mean something.
Yeah, I think the way to save it is have it open Mania every year. And
exactly. Like, that was the main point of why they did it, was to get a bunch of wrestlers on the WrestleMania card and be like, oh, you get this ugly trophy, but hey, you have a match at WrestleMania. They took it off WrestleMania. Now you win this trophy that you don't even hold, and it's just like you forget about it. It's like there's no point to it.
I think it would be better if they did it as like, what if it was like a 20-man mini Royal Rumble at WrestleMania? Winner gets the trophy every year. You know what I mean? And then that person gets to
they need something.
I was gonna say they get the trophy, but I was gonna say they probably start at, then I was going to say then they automatically get to be the last entrant in the next year's one. I think it would be a good rule.
Yeah, like you gotta, like, you need you gotta win something.
You know what I mean? Like, we just made it so much better and just got 20 people on the card. You know what I mean? And then you could do it. And like I said, you have what? That gets you 15 to 18 people who wouldn't have been on the card, and then you can have 2 to 5 returns or nostalgia things at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? And then it's like, and you don't have to do 90 seconds between. You can do like a minute between. It'll only end up taking like a half hour total. Like, you could do it.
Yeah, they could if they cared. But that's enough about the Andre the Giant.
Yeah, literally, we've talked about one match so far. So
let's pivot back to Bad Blood. So after Hell in a Cell, I believe, was Nia versus Bayley, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Didn't love this match. I'll be honest. This one fell a little flat for me. They just seemed like they weren't on the same page.
Just especially compared to their first match, right? Because
there was no way you could follow up. Well,
like,
and you can't follow up Hell in a Cell.
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, they were in a really rough spot, and it's also like they were in a rough spot following Hell in a Cell, and then they were in a really rough spot, being that their first match was like a banger and like really shocked everybody and was like it was really good. I really enjoyed Nia versus Bayley at SummerSlam, so it was like I think everyone agreed. Like, so yeah, it felt a little flat. I don't love the idea of like. So the way like they're setting up like the Tiffany and Nia thing, I don't love the way it played out here, just because I think
didn't it feel like the moment that she should have cashed in?
Yeah, it kind of felt like the moment, and it also, but if it wasn't the moment, it didn't feel like it should have been a thing that the referee like stands up and is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It felt like it should have been like, I don't know, like that feels like a situation where it's like, it feels like something that's easy to brush over.
Yeah.
So sorry it took me so long to say that. It feels like a situation that's easy to brush over. Like it seems like something that can easily be like Tiff's like, no, I helped you. I'm not cashing in, and just jumps out of the ring. She's like, do your thing. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It just seemed like it like went down like a little sloppy.
Yeah, I fully
seems like
agree.
The referee like it didn't make sense to me that the referee picked up the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like that's what didn't make sense to me.
So I think they were trying to play into it more of. Like, the referee thought she was going to cash in, so we still like don't know, right? Because like Tiff ran to the ring, but she didn't fully decide to cash in. So I think they were trying to play into that. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I think that they easily could have just had her be in the ring and then kind of contemplating it, and then you could have had your finish like right after that. Yeah, this one just like fell flat for me, kind of. In every aspect. The ending, it got a little better, but like there was just a big like lull for like the first 3/4 of the match until like the ending, and then like Bayley and Nia kind of like picked it up.
I mean, is Tiff the one to take it off Nia?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like this is what I'm thinking. I think Tiff takes it off Nia soon.
I think so too.
I think we go Nia and Tiff feud. Probably like, and I think they can give us a good feud. I think they give us a good heated feud. I think that can carry to Rumble. And then I think potentially Charlotte comes back and wins the Rumble, and we get Charlotte. Charlotte becomes the first time, 2-time Rumble winner for the women.
Yeah.
And she faces Tiffany Stratton, kind of passing of the torch sort of thing. And then Tiff has to win, obviously, at Mania. So that's kind of my prediction on where they go with it. So I don't know exactly when it happens, but what do you think?
I think so. I thought she was going to cash in at Bad Blood. It felt like the right time until I heard their announcement for Crown Jewel. So then it wouldn't have made sense for her to cash in at Bad Blood, because then Tiff would have just immediately had to face Liv, while Nia would have been pissed for a while. So I think Crown Jewel.
Could be, yeah.
Tiff's cashing in, then you build that feud, because I don't like it. The thing is,
do you think Tiff goes into Mania as the champion?
Oh, yeah.
Who do you think she
Big
goes
time.
up against?
Probably Charlotte.
Yeah, I think Charlotte. Do you think Charlotte wins the Rumble?
Yeah, no doubt, 100%. And I'm for it. I know we kind of a lot of people hate on Charlotte with all of her accolades, but this I think everyone would be cool with.
I mean, as long as she comes back, wins the Rumble, and loses to Tiff at Man.
Loses.
That's it.
Yeah. Although I think she's hitting 16.
Probably. The only reason I think she's hitting 16 is because I think Cena's hitting 17.
Oh yeah, now we're talking. So I think Tiff cashes in.
Yeah.
At Saudi at Crown Jewel because like you're not. So I think that was she didn't cash in at Bad Blood because of Crown Jewel and that because now it's like I said, you can't have Tiff cash in at Bad Blood for her to then not face Nia right away. So then I think it's going to be a situation of that she's going to, but then I'm a little confused on like the rules. She got to wait until after the match, right? Because then things get interesting with like it's a non-title match, but then if she cashes in during the match, then it turns into a triple threat if it's during the match. So then things could get interesting.
I think maybe it's a situation where something with I was going to say something with like Liv and Raquel, like Raquel helps Liv win and then like Tiff comes out to help and like can't help Nia like win basically, so Nia gets like pissed off at Tiff and then Tiff like maybe hits her with the thing, or maybe it's a thing where like they're beating up on Nia and then Tiff runs down like she's going to help and then she cashes in. What do you think?
I don't know. Part of me feels like it could happen after the match. I think it happens after the match to avoid technicality things. And I think that I like where your head's at. I think there's a real good chance that happens, but I could also see like not like Tiff helping Nia get the win, and then like after like this celebration, Tiff just like clocks her with the title, and then kind of just takes it off her during that. But like, because like I think I'm like really confident Tiff is cashing in a Crown Jewel now because they can't give Nia something else to do. Like I don't think they're gonna start another feud with Nia and someone else and then have Tiff cash in.
Yeah, agreed.
So we'll see. Obviously no official predictions yet. You got to stay tuned for our predictions video on that in the coming weeks. So what was next? Was that was Liv versus Rhea or was it Priest versus Finn?
I think it was Priest versus Finn.
Yeah,
no,
so
I can't remember. But
let's talk about Priest and Finn.
Yeah.
Good match.
Yeah, good match. But I don't agree with how it ended, man. Like, Priest went over way too hard here, man. Like, way too hard.
Yeah.
And me and you, Damian, we're Damian Priest guys, man. I love
We're
Damian
truthers.
Priest. Love Damian Priest, but Finn needed to win this match, man.
Big time.
Finn needed to win this match. And not only did he need to not lose, he needed to not lose the way that he lost. Damian, like, single-handedly took out Carlito, took out JD, 8-3 coup de grace, and beat Finn on one South of Heaven chokeslam. So, like, I'm like, dude, like, what does that make? Like, it's like he just took out your tag team champions and another guy in the Judgment Day. Like, I don't know, man. It's just like, and I love Damian, like I said, and this isn't on him at all. I just like, I think the booking was bad here because I think it just squashes Finn. Like, what are you doing with Finn?
Big time.
Like, Finn
loses
Balor
all credibility, Dylan.
Dude,
Finn Balor's nothing now.
Dude, it's just like
he's dust.
Dude, it's just like poor
and
Finn.
Finn is
Balor,
awesome.
Man. Dude,
like he's great,
Finn.
dude.
He's amazing.
He's awesome.
He should have won this match.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think like I didn't love the ending. Like it just felt like the ending felt out of place. I believe if I'm remembering it correctly, he went for the coup de grace and then Priest just like called him and hit him with the South of Heaven and then just won.
It was just like, I don't know, man. I just think Priest looked like way too strong in the fact that it made Priest just look.
I think it was more of a situation of the Judgment Day and Finn looked so weak, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much.
Like, why would anyone fear them as a team now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, what, like, And like they can't keep this feud going, right? They
I mean,
may try.
They probably will now that Rhea didn't get the title.
And that was the other thing. So then, like, I thought that, like, when they were going, like, I thought they both were going to win. So now I think it's a bit odd that they both didn't finish their story with the Judgment Day at the same time.
Yeah, and then you had that very botched finish in the Liv and Rhea match with Raquel. Doesn't really seem like that was on her. Seems like it was on the ref. Seems like the ref got a little confused there.
I think we all were confused.
Yeah, it seems like the ref was supposed to, it seems like when Raquel hit Rhea, Rhea was supposed to bump into the ref, and the ref was supposed to go down.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the match wasn't supposed to end in DQ, and it was like Raquel was supposed to put Liv on top of Rhea and like help her get the pin or whatever.
Considering she did, but then I think the match was done.
We won't. Things are, you know what I mean.
Things happen.
Things happen. We're not gonna put blame on anybody. We don't really know. But so it looks like Raquel is. I mean, no official word on if she's in the Judgment Day because they asked her last night and she just stared at them and walked away. But that's what it seems like.
She's in the Judgment Day.
Yeah, seems like Raquel is now part of the Judgment Day, and we'll see where it goes from here. I honestly, I really don't know where it goes from here. Judgment Day they didn't really do too much last night, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So I think I thought the match was a lot of fun, especially with Dom falling out of the shark cage outside the ring. Like all of that was good.
I will say I wish they gave them a better stipulation than just like a man hanging in a shark cage for the women's match. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like they could have. It's like, I don't know. Dom has just become way too much a focus in this storyline. When it's like you have the world title there, so it could really, really be about that and the injury. But Dom has become so centered, which is like, it makes sense in the way that it's just like easy to build around, but they just could have made it more serious, I think, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this should be like a heated feud, not one with like comedic kind of relief with hanging Dom in a shark cage because he's scared of heights. And close spaces.
But either way, that spot was crazy. I literally thought he was about to die. Like, I was like,
I screamed.
Dude.
I screamed, dude.
I was like, what is going on?
I knew something was up because he was like sitting down in the corner. But I was just like, all right, they probably have him like locked onto a harness so he doesn't actually fall out of the cage. But I didn't think he was going to actually fall out of the cage, which was sick. I'm with you. I think this feud we got to turn up the heat a little bit, right? We got to push Dom to the side because it also doesn't make sense because, like, Rhea just doesn't give a shit about Dom anymore, right?
Yeah, no, seriously. It's like Rhea is very much over that.
Yeah, like, what are we doing here? She's moved past it. So I think now, and I do like Raquel being injected into this. I think it opens up a lot of interesting possibilities with history with both women. I like heel Raquel. I think she works way better as a heel.
100%.
So I think that it's going to be Rhea's going to have to go through Raquel to get to live again. When that happens, who knows? I just like I don't know. It's tough because if Raquel didn't, or if Rhea didn't take the title at Bad Blood, then it's like, when's it going to happen? Survivor Series? But it doesn't feel like that's long enough after Liv retained, after bringing back a returning wrestler to help her win. So it's like we have 2 months until Survivor Series. So it's like, I don't know. Bad Blood just felt like the time, Dillon. Like a lot of it's about timing. It just felt like the time for Rhea to win back her title. But I mean, I think this could be a lot of fun. Let's just get Dom to the side a little bit. But I think now it's interesting because, like, is Dom, Rhea, and Raquel going to kind of form their own little faction? Like, I think there could be a crack in the Judgment Day after Finn took the loss, because now you've got, what is that, 6 people? So it's getting a little crowded. And
they need
especially
to figure out what they're doing with the tag team titles, man. Like, putting the tag team titles on them right before this feud was such a bad idea.
terrible.
Like,
Terrible.
yeah. So they need to figure something out with
Put them
that.
on the Creed brothers. Let's just do it already.
Like, if they're gonna be tag team, if Finn and JD are gonna be your tag team champions, honestly, just move on and make them your tag team champions. And if
Have
not,
it be a tag team.
that's
Like,
what I'm saying. Just
like,
move on
just
and let
give
them be a
them
tag team. And if not, then let them drop the titles and just like the tag team titles have just completely disappeared off television. And it's
They gotta decide tag team titles or faction.
yeah,
right?
no,
Either break up
seriously.
the faction, have them be a tag team, or have them lose the titles and have them be a faction. Like you gotta pick. Like the idea was insane to have them win the tag titles, for them to turn on Priest and Rhea, to then your tag team champion is the leader. Well, the quote unquote leader, because there's no leaders if you ask Finn, but he's the leader. So it's like that idea was stupid. Like I knew it wasn't gonna work, and now, like you said, the tag titles, they're a ghost. So let's move on, because we had a main event.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun, Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say I called it, but I did call it. If you watched my predictions video on our social media, The Rock, the great one, came back. We'll get into that in a minute or two. But overall, what were your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, overall, man, can't lie, I enjoyed it, man. Really did enjoy this match. I think Cody and Rhodes, as much as I was kind of against this match, honestly, like it felt very cop-out. It felt very, adding this layer to the story felt weird and unnecessary. But they've kind of pulled me in, because I like this idea, especially now.
Now the ball is going to start to get rolling.
Yeah, especially now, especially with the KO turn that we got after the show, right?
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
We'll talk about that after, but we'll talk about this first. So overall, I thought it was a good match. I thought Cody and Roman played off the chemistry well of being like rivals turned partners. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out who's going to start the match and different things like that. And then, of course, the Jimmy Uso return. How amazing. That was beautiful, man. The moment with Roman. Jeez, man. Roman is so good at showing emotion, man. Like, it his facial expressions, like, during COVID, man, like, that is the one thing, like, nobody grew. I don't know. Like, it was like when the crowds disappeared, Roman just figured something out. And it was like, and it's just like, as far as like the storytelling and emotion side come with it, I think he realized how much more important it was when there wasn't people there, you know what I mean, and how much of a factor it could play,
because they focus so much more on like the wrestling, what's happening in the ring. Like they're not cutting to crowds or anything like that.
So and just like even the thing, right, Jimmy comes back, they not the one shirt, that's a fire shirt, first off, and then Roman looking at him, you called the play. He's like, I called it. He was like, for you. And then, man, they hugged, man, and it was that was a great moment, man. And God, it was beautiful. And then you had, of course, they started attacking Cody in the ring, and Jimmy says, "Let's go, man. You gave me your word."
Yeah,
Great
moment.
Jimmy says Roman says that was a one-time thing, man. That was a one-time thing, and Jimmy said, "All right, bro, I'm with you, Oos. You call the play."
Yeah.
And then, Jimmy, not necessarily forcing him, but, he pushed him in the right direction, letting him know, like, come on, man, you gave me your word. I just, and they did what was right. And then you had that great moment, Roman handing Cody the title. They have that stare down. That third match is going to be so awesome whenever it does happen.
I mean, when do you think that happens, real quick?
I don't even
know. It has to
man.
It's happening at a WrestleMania.
Yeah, probably like maybe 42.
Yeah.
I think 42 is probably a good call. But we'll see. So so then of course we get the moment that happens, and then the moment with all three, and then The Rock returns, man. The Rock returns, does a countdown for his music to hit again, and then leaves. And does this thing. and then goes on Instagram Live and cuts a 15-minute promo after yelling at trucks and things like that. So anyway, it's gonna be really
he loves going live now,
Yeah.
Dill, to cut promos.
Seriously, man, that dude found out about social media, and it's like, dude,
It's like, why would I cut a 5-minute
Dude, The Rock-
promo during
The
the
Rock
event when I can cut a 20-minute promo online?
The Rock acts like he's known about social media for 2 weeks. Like, like,
You mean I can go live
Yeah,
on
dude,
social media now?
like that's what I mean. He seems like he just found out about it. Like they just told him how easy it was, and he was
Wait
like,
a minute,
"Holy
you don't
shit."
need to watch TV on a television?
Yeah.
You can watch it on your phone through social
Yeah.
media? So you think, because I saw some people talk about the countdown thing. You think it was you said it was for his music to hit again?
Bro, that's what it looked like to me. I don't know. The countdown thing, it could have been a couple different things, but it literally, like, he walked
I think it was
out-
nothing.
I'm saying this, like, look, he walked out there. He went like this. He walked out there. The music stopped, and then he went. And then the music started again.
Okay.
Like, he did that and then went. And the music started again.
So
I thought he... So I was like, bro, did he really just do that? Stop.
I
the
don't
music
think he
count-
did. I don't
It's
think
what
it
it
was for
seemed
the
like, bro,
music.
especially with the motion hand. I swear to God.
I
Watch the
think it
clip.
was.
It lines up perfectly with the music.
I think it. So okay, let me tell you this. For
I guess it
starters.
could have been the 1, 2, 3 of them in the ring.
So initially, I was just like, all right, it's just a dumb thing that he did. Part of me thinks he just does shit, and he just wants people talking about things that he does that doesn't relate to anything.
That is a very good chance. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
I think he just did that by accident and then, just let everybody...
I think he's just like, I'm just gonna do something random, and I'll get people talking, and we'll see where it goes from there.
No, I think he did it by accident the first time, and then it got everybody talking, so he was like, I'm going to keep doing it.
I'm gonna do weird shit to
Yeah.
get people talking. So I think that I'm pretty convinced that he just did that just to like not do anything. But then the other part of me was like, probably Survivor Series. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 on 4.
So that's what he was saying. Like he's counting. He's like, you only got 3.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to like not think too much about it because, like I said, I just like
I kind of think they might pull Cody out for Survivor Series though.
I hope so.
Now with
They
this
have to, right?
Yeah. Now with the KO thing going on.
Especially again with Crown Jewel. So now you have KO turn on Cody. You're not going to get KO versus Cody for 2 months.
Yeah.
Like that. That's like
Nah, it's got to happen at Survivor Series. It's gonna happen at Survivor Series.
Yeah, in 2 months.
Damn. Yeah. I guess you're right.
Yeah, dude, it's at the end of November. Like that's
Yeah,
crazy.
damn.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the other problem. So now it's like, all right, they can still build this KO and Cody feud, but then it's like you have that happen, which was awesome, by the way. Loved it. I literally
Yeah.
thought someone was attacking Cody when I
Dude,
saw it.
Yeah. I mean, talk about like just completely relying on the fans in this day and age, knowing that everybody's going to see it and they're going to get a million they're going to get so many videos of people recording that incident. It makes so much sense. Like KO's a perfect wrestler to do that. Like KO's such an emotional wrestler, you know what I mean? Emotion is such a big part of what makes Kevin Owens who he is. So having an emotional reaction like that after seeing what happened, like that is very that makes a
In
lot
character.
more it's in character, and it makes a lot more sense than him waiting till SmackDown and going out in front of people. Like
Yeah, that was the other thing too.
That's not the Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens doesn't care about going out and doing it in front of the crowd. Like the Kevin Owens gimmick, like is pissed and is gonna go confront him right then and there. And
Yeah.
it was done beautifully, man, and it was so good. I can't wait to
And,
see
like,
what happens on Friday.
The other thing is it feels so much more real.
Kayfabe is alive, man. Triple H tweeting out, we are aware of the Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes
Yeah.
incident, and it will be handled internally.
Oh, yeah.
Protect kayfabe, man. Like kayfabe
yeah.
is so alive.
Oh yeah.
So
And like that was the other thing too, because like it's just like it like I said, it helps it feel so much more real when you don't have all of the cameras there, and it's just like it takes like
completely relying on the fans and cell phone footage.
Protect kayfabe, man.
I mean, it was genius, dude.
It's great.
So good.
I mean,
I love it, man. I love it. I seriously do. Like, I fucking love it. And there's no better person to do it than KO. Like, this is the perfect situation. Like, I wonder whose idea this was.
I got.
What do you think?
No idea.
I gotta say Trips, man. I gotta say this to me feels like a Triple H idea.
Okay.
Feels like to me it's a Triple H idea of him thinking outside the box, being like, who knows though? I'd love to figure it out. I think it could have been KO's idea. I think it.
We'll never
I don't know. I'm wondering who the person. I think we might find out one day.
Okay.
Because I think that, dude, I'm serious. I think this is like I think this is going to change WWE.
Okay.
Kind of forever moving forward.
All right, I'm with you. I like it.
I think opening this box, they have now opened Pandora's box of kayfabe. Kayfabe is alive off screen.
Yeah.
And in public, like they've opened the box once again. And it's like, I don't know, man. It works. So,
that's the other thing, because then, like you said, like them doing this and being like, okay, this worked insanely well, right?
That's
like,
what I mean.
Everyone's buzzing about
so
it.
That's
so
the
now
thing. They don't need to go overboard with it, but it's just like I just think it's like the subtle things. Like over time, we're going to see this be like the first domino of them being like, holy shit, dude, we just opened a whole new way of how we can do things.
Yeah.
Does that
and
make
it's
sense?
like it opens and it makes the possibility, and it makes them realize, right? It makes them realize that they don't have to do everything in front of a live crowd.
Dude, I'm talking
like that's the thing. Like
dude,
they can do more stuff not in front of like a live crowd in an arena.
Dude, like they can do stuff now like at the fucking airport, like
yeah.
Can you imagine can you imagine like in the line for security, like saying it like, like or like, you know what I mean? Like, or on the plane, like I don't know, like randomly like at a McDonald's, like I don't know, like stopping somewhere on the road, like two wrestlers like on the way to a next event. Like there's so much, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, and like and they have
the
done
places
stuff
that you can have like people attack each other. Like you said, yeah, it's like go with what you were gonna say.
So, and they have like kind of done this before in the past, right? But it's obviously very like it's different because you have a camera crew there, or you have cameras set up.
It's very produced. Like
yes, now you're relying on the fans.
Yes, it's completely
to just film it.
It's yes,
you bring them in.
Yes,
you make them feel like they're a part of it, right?
Dude, it's a really, really, really good idea. Like it was a really good idea. I'm really excited to see where it goes because yeah, dude, like you said, like the idea of it being like completely relied on it's just like, oh yeah, camera crew wasn't there. Like this was caught by a fan. Like this is crazy. Like I don't know, man. It's just so awesome. Like it's such a good idea, and I'm really excited to see where they go in the future with things like this. And like I said,
I think
like,
they'll start to do it more.
Yeah, and like I said, but I think it's like I don't think they need to just immediately start to go like, oh, like everybody's heel turns are happening off camera and things like that. And I think like honestly, I think the next step is in a thing like this is figure out what's the next thing they can do like that isn't like a heel turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or isn't like what's the next thing? Because once they figure that out, because it's easy to do a heel turn like that. But when they figure out how to set up other shit and like other things besides just a normal heel turn and someone just attacking each other, like in a situation like that, that's when they're really gonna like open Pandora's box to like a whole new world of what they're gonna be able to produce.
Yeah, and so that's why like going back to what like Cody not being on Team Roman for Survivor Series, I think this solidifies that he's not doing that now.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I think they'll probably announce on SmackDown that they fined and suspended KO.
Yeah.
So that way, that kind of pushes that feud off until after Crown Jewel.
Yeah, I think that makes sense too.
So, I mean, yeah, dude, like, so do you, let me ask you this, because this is, we'll pretty much just be speculating about Survivor Series for the foreseeable future. Do you think The Rock is in the match?
I really don't know, man. I'm leaning no.
I'm with you.
I'm leaning no, and I'm leaning it's this current Bloodline versus Roman, Usos, and Sammy.
Okay.
That's where my head is at right now. How about you?
I think that is the most likely situation. I will say this. Best case scenario, they get Zilla on Team Roman.
I think the best case scenario, is like Rock is in the match and then they get Zilla on Team Roman.
No, I think Zilla instead of Sammy. But it feels like Sammy's got to be a part of this, right?
Like I said, dude, I think Sammy,
he's got to be a part of it.
It feels like Sammy is a pretty key part to the story, honestly. Like, coming full circle. Like, Sammy, like, if Roman is finally able to accept that Sami Zayn did a lot to help him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jay, like, and I don't know, especially with how close, like, Jay and Sammy are consistently, like, I think,
yeah.
I don't know, man. We'll see. But,
because, like, now we're going to, like, start to get the ball rolling, right? Now we got Jimmy back. Now the first domino has fallen. So I'm super excited to see how this stuff is going to play out over the next
few months. How do we get Jay back in the fold, man? Like, he's on Raw. I mean, Sammy's on Raw too, though. So it's just we got to figure out how we're doing this.
Well, that's, so I'll tell you this. It's going to be, I think the whole, like, wrestlers sticking to their shows is going to be, they're going to blur the line with that now.
No, agreed. I just don't know how they're going to do it.
I think that it's going to be a situation of Cody's going to be occupied with Gunther and then obviously KO, so they're not going to be able to rely on him. Yeah. So then it's going to be Jimmy is going to kind of like essentially take the place of the wise man for the time being and kind of being like, we need more numbers. Like, we can't face 4-on-2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, we gotta, and then he's going to be like, let me get Jey Uso. And then like Roman's going to not really be for it. Or maybe he gets, I think he gets Sammy first.
Yeah, I think Jimmy maybe gets Sammy.
I think Jimmy gets Sammy.
Yeah, me too. Because
Jimmy and Sammy convinces Jey.
Jimmy and Sammy were tight.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah.
I'll tell you this. I don't know if this is a hot take real quick, but I think Jey is dropping that title soon, and I think he's dropping it to Jacob Fatu.
I fucking kind of hope not, dude. I love Fatu, but like Jey just got that shit, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they put it on Jey to give it to Jacob Fatu.
Nah, bro.
All right, watch. You just you watch.
Why? Like how? Not why. How?
How? I think they're once they get Jey involved in this, that it's going to then Solo's going to be like Fatu versus Jey.
That feels like Mania to me, man.
Jey versus Jacob?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
not disagreeing, but I just don't think Jey finishes the year as IC champion.
I'm just like, if he gets involved in this story, who's he going to drop it to? I guess Jacob, but like...
Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I know, but when are they going to put in an IC title match in there? Like, they're not going to do it at WarGames.
It's true. Before WarGames. Yeesh.
Yeah, that's like 6 weeks.
I know. I'm not saying I love it. I'm just saying I think that Jay's not finishing the year with the IC title, and I think they put it on Jey to then transition it to Jacob Fatu, and I think they thought that that's like a kill two birds, one stone, right? You give Jey his run, but they also want to build the credibility of Jacob Fatu by
and
putting
then Jey gets
a
it
mid-card
back
title.
At Mania.
Nah, they're winning the tag titles at Mania.
No, bro, they're not.
Yes, I swear they're gonna win the tag
Jey
titles.
Uso is a single star, bro.
Not anymore. Not once he
Yeah.
drops that IC title.
Bro, you are the biggest Jey Uso hater I ever
I'm
met,
not,
bro.
no.
Bro,
I don't
the
hate
people,
Jey.
The people need to get on him, bro. This man thinks Jey Uso is a bad single star, and he deserves. He thinks that he should be with Jimmy.
Lies. Those
What,
are lies.
I'm sorry. What is your actual thought on it though? What do you think
On
is gonna
what?
happen?
For what?
You think it's gonna be the Usos versus the Tongans at
Probably.
Mania?
Probably.
Nah.
Maybe they win them before.
Nah.
I will say my main. I will say this. I will say my main flag on the hill. I will die on this is two things. Jay's losing the title before the year is done, and the other one is once he drops that title, it's going to be him and Jimmy. Usos are back for the foreseeable future, and they're winning tag gold. Come at me in the comments. I will die on that hill.
All right.
And I'm not listen. I'll say this too. I'm not saying I want this. I'm not saying I hate Jey Uso as a single star.
I was just messing around.
I'm saying I think that's what they're going to do.
I think it's a fair take.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying I think that's what they're going to do.
I think it's fair. I just hope they. I hope that Jay. I think Jay is a significant single star. So we're gonna see where it goes.
So I also think real quick, and then we'll end it after this. I think that everything Jay has and is will only get multiplied by throwing him back with Jimmy, because you saw the reaction that Jimmy got. Jimmy's automatically a pretty big baby face, right? So I think you put the Usos back together, you unite their overness, and you form one mega baby face tag team. I don't think you lose much with Jay teaming back up with Jimmy.
You lose him as a single star.
Yeah, but I think he can still do some singles things. I think you may lose him as he may take a hit as a single star, but I think what you gain in a massive babyface tag team is worth it.
As long as they do something with it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
They've never do enough with the tag team, so that's my main thing.
I'm with you.
Well,
and real quick, I forgot this. I did not want to forget
that tag
this
team
too.
main event. Obviously, I say that a couple years after we had a tag team main event of WrestleMania, but it's that was it, man. Ever since then, they haven't done.
So I think, and the problem is they're on the Bloodline stuff and everything with the Judgment Day. They got to get them off the factions. I think is the biggest issue, because they're not. No one says I want the tag titles. Although they have been wrestling, but it's they don't have a good feud. But I think we're going to start to get tag teams cooking, because they had that little vignette of the Motor City Machine Guns coming soon. So I think
they had a vignette of some runes and shit last night. So it seems like the Viking Raiders are coming back.
Ooh. Yeah.
So that's what I got from it. It definitely.
I had no idea. I kind of forgot. I love the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the Viking Raiders. I mean, they were runes. Those are Viking writing things. So it's
and they had letters too.
Yeah, it was it's Viking Raiders. It has to be.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I just and I think they're going to put more thought into the tag team division.
And hopefully, I mean, you would hope so, especially with the reports that we got the Motor City Machine Guns, and
I'm 100%. I don't know how closely Alex. I don't know. Alex Shelley's from Detroit, Michigan, and if you watched it, there was cars, and then they had the 8 Mile Street sign. I mean,
Motor City is Detroit.
Yeah. So it's and that vignette was very much Detroit. So it's just which is gonna be sick. I just hope they.
Yeah, and then hopefully hopefully the Lucha Bros not too far after it. So.
Well, I don't know if you saw the reports with them now.
What's that?
Because I believe it was Ray Phoenix. TK did the classic WWE move and tacked on time to his contract that he missed due to injury, which is 9 months.
Bro, what?
Yeah.
He's a dickhead for that.
I mean, yeah, that's always the worst. Even when WWE did it, it's always the worst when people do that shit.
Yeah, bro, why are you doing that, man?
Bro, I mean, It sucks. So who knows when we're going to get, if or when we get the Lucha Bros. And I'm also wary if they're going to properly book them as a good tag team or not.
But
so hopefully they don't just throw them in the LWO.
Bro, I have a lot of faith that the Lucha Bros like wouldn't sign with the WWE if they didn't have like some sort of like control over what they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I highly
and it's
doubt
something that we've been seeing too. In with like even like Ethan Page and Cody Rhodes, like guys from other companies kind of coming in. They don't totally do a different repackage, and they are like pushing their chips in on these free agents that they're signing because they're massive. They're like stars already. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how the tag team division and where we go from here. You guys let us know in the comments. Is The Rock going to be involved in WarGames in the actual match? And let us know, what do you think that countdown was? Do you think it was him just hitting his music? Do you think it was nothing? Or do you think it was kind of a hint at Survivor Series? So with that being said, if you want to check out our previous video, we interviewed one half of the Dog Tag Team Champions, the Daredevil Dave Dahl. It was a hot interview, Dill. He's kind of coming at Jim Molyneux a lot, saying a lot of hot things. So check out our previous video if you want to watch that, and be on the lookout for our next episode of the podcast. With that being said, I'm Mark Izzo. He's Dillon O'Brien, and this has been another episode of the Burning Hammer Podcast. We'll catch you next week.